Elena Vasquez walked through the massive doors of the council chamber. Her heart beat fast with excitement. Today was the day humans would finally sign the Galactic Trade Agreement. After 20 years of negotiations, humanity was about to become full members of the galactic community. The chamber was huge. It could hold 10,000 beings easily. Delegates from hundreds of alien species sat in their special seats. Each species had different needs. Some breathed methane, others needed very hot temperatures. The chamber used advanced technology to keep everyone comfortable. Elena looked around at her fellow humans. There were 12 human delegates total. Dr. James Park sat to her left. He was the head of human science programs. Maria Santos was there too. She handled all the trade discussions. They all wore their best clothes. Today was special. The Zephyrian Chancellor stood up. His blue skin glowed softly under the chamber lights. He was very tall and thin. His voice was like music when he spoke. "Today we welcome our youngest members," he said. "The humans of Earth have shown great promise. They have shared their music, their art, and their simple technologies with us. We are pleased to accept them." Elena smiled. The word simple stung a little, but she understood. Human technology was basic compared to what the galaxy had. Humans still used chemical rockets, while other species had ships that could cross the galaxy in days. The Altarian High Regent stood next. She looked like a giant insect with golden wings. Her species was known for being very smart and very honest. "The trade agreement is ready," she said. "We will help humans improve their technology. In return, humans will provide their unique cultural items and basic manufacturing." Elena felt proud. Humans made good things. Their electronics were reliable. Their medicines worked well. Other species seemed to really like human music and movies too. The Chancellor smiled. At least Elena thought it was a smile. "But first we must discuss something important. There is an old law we must follow." Elena felt worried. Dr. Park looked at her with concern. This was not part of what they had planned to discuss today. "What law?" Elena asked. The Chancellor touched a device on his desk. A huge screen appeared in the air above them. It showed a document written in many alien languages. Elena could read some of it thanks to her translator device. "Galactic Law 847, the Chancellor said. "It deals with primitive worlds that have valuable resources." Elena's translator device worked hard to change the alien words into English. As she read, her face went pale. The law said that any world with critical galactic resources could be taken by the Council if the native species was too primitive to use them properly. "I don't understand," Elena said. "What does this have to do with our trade agreement?" The High Regent's wings buzzed softly. "Earth has been studied for many years. Your planet has very rare minerals. It also has thousands of different life forms. These things are worth more than anything else in the galaxy." Dr. Park stood up quickly. "Are you saying you want to buy these resources from us? We can negotiate prices." The Chancellor made a sound that might have been laughing. "Oh no, Dr. Park, we are not buying anything. Under Galactic Law 847, Earth now belongs to the Council. The resources are too valuable to leave with a primitive species." Elena felt like she had been hit in the stomach. "But we're joining the Council today. We're becoming full members." "Actually, no," the High Regent said. "Your membership was just a formality. We needed you to be members so we could legally claim your world under galactic law. It makes everything proper and legal." Maria Santos spoke for the first time. Her voice was shaking. "What are you saying exactly?" The Chancellor pulled up another screen. This one showed Earth from space. Red marks covered most of the planet. "These areas will be strip mined for rare metals," he said. "These other areas will become biological reserves where we will study and harvest your planet's life forms. The rest will be used for farming to feed other worlds." "What about humans?" Elena asked. "Where will we live?" The High Regent pointed to another screen. It showed several small gray planets. "We have found suitable worlds for human relocation. They are not as nice as Earth, but they will keep you alive. You will live under Council supervision, of course. We cannot let primitives roam free in the galaxy." Elena's hands were shaking now. All around her, the other human delegates looked shocked and angry. Dr. Park was typing quickly on his portable computer. Elena hoped he was recording everything. "How long do we have?" Elena asked. Her voice was very quiet. 30 standard galactic days, the Chancellor said. "That should be enough time to pack what you need and organize transportation. We are being very generous. Usually, primitive species only get 10 days. Elena looked at each alien delegate in the chamber. Some looked sorry for humans. Others looked excited about getting Earth's resources. Most just looked bored, like this happened all the time. What if we refuse? Dr. Park asked. The High Regent's wings stopped buzzing. The chamber became very quiet. Then we will move you by force, she said. It would be better for everyone if you came willingly. Forced relocations can be unpleasant. Elena stood up slowly. She looked directly at the Chancellor. I need to contact my government, she said. Of course, the Chancellor said. But remember, this is not a negotiation. This is an announcement. Galactic Law 847 has been activated. Earth belongs to the Council now. Elena walked out of the chamber with the other humans following her. Nobody spoke until they reached their private meeting room. Once the door closed, Dr. Park immediately started checking for listening devices. They're telling the truth about the law, Maria said. She was reading through legal documents on her computer. It's real. It's been used 12 times before on other primitive worlds. What happened to those species? Elena asked. Maria's face was very pale. According to this, most of them died out within 50 years of relocation. The survivors became slaves or servants to other species. Dr. Park finished his security check. The room is clean. We can talk freely. Elena sat down heavily in her chair. They planned this the whole time. 20 years of negotiations. 20 years of pretending to be our friends. Also, they could legally steal our planet. What do we do now? Maria asked. Elena was quiet for a long moment. She thought about her children back on Earth. She thought about the billions of humans who had no idea what was happening. She thought about Earth's blue oceans and green forests. We go home, she said finally. We tell our leaders everything, and then we figure out what humans do when someone tries to take their home. Dr. Park nodded. Should we try to negotiate with them? Elena looked at him with hard eyes. They just told us they spent 20 years lying to us so they could steal our planet and make us slaves. What exactly would we negotiate? The room was quiet again. Through the window, they could see alien ships flying between the tall buildings of Nexus Prime. Somewhere out there, Elena knew, other species were making plans for Earth's destruction. But they had made one mistake. They thought humans would just give up and accept their fate. Elena smiled for the first time since entering the council chamber. They were about to learn something very important about humans. Nobody takes a human's home without a fight. The human delegation left Nexus Prime the next morning. Elena Vasquez did not say goodbye to any of the alien diplomats. She did not file any complaints or requests for more time. She simply packed her things and walked to the transport ship with the other humans. The Zephyrian Chancellor watched them leave from his office window. He felt a little sorry for them, but business was business. Earth's resources would help the galaxy grow stronger. The humans would understand eventually. On the ship back to Earth, Elena sat quietly in her seat. Dr. Park and Maria Santos tried to talk to her, but she just stared out the window at the stars. She was thinking very hard about something. When they reached Earth, Elena went straight to the Global Defense Council meeting in Geneva. The world's leaders were waiting for her report. President Chen of the Pacific Federation looked worried. Prime Minister Okafor of the African Union kept checking her phone for updates. Tell us everything, said Director Petrov of the European Commonwealth. Elena stood at the front of the room. She spoke in a calm, clear voice. She told them about the law. She told them about the 30-day deadline. She told them about the forced relocation. When she finished, the room was completely silent. So they want to steal our planet and make us slaves, President Chen said finally. Yes, Elena replied, and we have 30 days before they come to take it. Yes. Prime Minister Okafor slammed her hand on the table. This is impossible. We are members of the Galactic Council now. They cannot just take our world. Elena shook her head. Our membership was fake. It was just a legal trick so they could claim Earth under their old law. Director Petrov leaned back in his chair. What are our options? Elena looked around the room at all the worried faces. These were smart people. They had led Earth through many difficult times. But this was different. This was bigger than anything humans had ever faced. We can surrender and hope they treat us well on the relocation worlds, she said, or we can fight a war against enemies who have technology thousands of years ahead of ours. Those are terrible options, President Chen said. Yes, they are, Elena agreed. The room was quiet again. Outside the windows, Geneva looked peaceful and normal. People were walking to work. Children were going to school. None of them knew that aliens were planning to destroy their world. Then Director Petrov spoke up. There might be a third option. Everyone looked at him. We disappear, he said. What do you mean? Asked Prime Minister Okafor. We cut off all contact with the galactic community. We stop talking to them completely. We make them wonder what we are doing. Elena felt something spark in her mind. Go on? Right now they think we are weak and scared. They expect us to beg for mercy or try to negotiate. What if we do something they do not expect? President Chen nodded slowly. What if we just vanish? Elena smiled for the first time in days. They know very little about us, actually. They think our technology is primitive. They think we are simple and peaceful, but they have never really studied us. What are you thinking? Maria Santos asked. She had been quiet during the whole meeting. Elena walked to the big screen on the wall. She brought up a map of human space. It showed Earth and all the human colonies. There were 43 human worlds now. Most aliens thought there were only 12. We have been very careful about what we show the galactic community, Elena said. We let them see our old rockets and simple computers. We never showed them our real technology. Dr. Park stood up. Are you talking about the Black Projects? Elena nodded. All of them. The Black Projects were secret human research programs. For 50 years, humans had been working on advanced technology. They had quantum computers that could think faster than alien machines. They had energy weapons that could cut through any known material. They had ships that could travel between stars without using the standard galactic jump routes. But humans had kept all of this secret. They wanted to learn about galactic technology first. They wanted to understand their neighbors before showing their true strength. So what do? President Chen asked. Elena looked at each leader in the room. We activate Protocol Omega. Everyone in the room went very still. Protocol Omega was the most secret plan in human space. It was what humans would do if they ever faced total extinction. Only a few dozen people in the entire galaxy knew it existed. Are you sure? Director Petrov asked. They want to destroy our world and enslave our people, Elena said. I think this qualifies as total extinction. Prime Minister Okafor nodded. I agree. What do we need to do? Elena pulled up another screen. This one showed a timeline with many different steps. First, we recall every human from alien space. Every diplomat, every trader, every student. Everyone comes home immediately. What reason do we give? Asked Maria. We do not give any reason. We just do it. Then what? President Chen asked. Then we go completely silent. No communications with any alien species, no trade, no diplomatic contact, nothing. Dr. Park was typing on his computer. I can shut down all the galactic communication relays in human space. It will look like technical problems. Good, Elena said. While we are silent, every human world will begin Phase 2 of Protocol Omega. She did not need to explain what Phase 2 was. Everyone in the room knew. It was the rapid militarization of human space. Every factory would start making weapons. Every shipyard would start building warships. Every research station would start working on combat technology. How long do we stay silent? Prime Minister Okafor asked. Elena smiled, but it was not a nice smile. Until we are ready to show them what humans really are. The meeting ended 2 hours later. Within 6 hours, messages were going out to every human colony and outpost. The messages were simple. Come home now. Protocol Omega is active. On Nexus Prime, the Zephyrian Chancellor noticed that the human embassy was empty. All the human staff had left without saying anything. He tried to call the human government, but no one answered. Probably just scared, he told his assistant. They will call us soon to beg for more time. But humans did not call. Days passed, then weeks. The alien governments tried to contact Earth, but got no response. They tried to contact human colonies, but those also went silent. Trade ships that had been working with humans found their contracts canceled. Human-made goods stopped appearing in galactic markets. Scientific research projects that included human scientists were abandoned when the humans just disappeared. The Altarian High Regent started to feel worried. This is not normal behavior for a frightened species, she told the Chancellor. They are just having emotional difficulties, the Chancellor replied. Primitive species often react badly to stress, but privately he was starting to wonder. He had expected humans to panic and beg. He had expected them to offer their planet's resources in exchange for better relocation worlds. He had not expected complete silence. On Earth, the silence continued. But it was not the silence of surrender. It was the silence of a species preparing for war. In secret facilities around the globe, humans were working day and night. They were building things the galactic community had never seen. They were preparing for the day when the aliens would learn what it really meant to threaten humanity's home. The 30-day deadline was approaching. But humans were not packing to leave. They were getting ready to fight, and the galaxy had no idea what was coming. 3 months had passed since the humans went silent. The Zephyrian Chancellor was beginning to feel very uncomfortable. He sat in his office on Nexus Prime, staring at reports that made no sense. His assistant, a young Zephyrian named Kess, brought him the daily intelligence briefing. Her blue skin was darker than usual, which meant she was worried. "Sir, the economic reports are getting worse," she said. The Chancellor looked at the numbers on his screen. Galactic trade was down by 15%. Several important shipping routes were no longer available. Medical supplies were running low on many worlds. "I do not understand," he said. "The humans only controlled a small part of galactic trade. It is not just the trade they controlled directly," Kess explained. "Many of the routes they used went through human space. Now those routes are closed." The Chancellor pulled up a map of the galaxy. Red lines showed all the shipping routes that were no longer working. There were many more than he had expected. "What do you mean, closed?" he asked. "Ships that try to enter human space just disappear from our sensors," Kess said. "They do not respond to calls. They never come back out." The Chancellor felt a cold feeling in his stomach. "Are the humans destroying our ships?" "We do not know. The ships just vanish. Our best sensors cannot see what happens to them." On the other side of the galaxy, the Altarian High Regent was having similar problems. Her golden wings buzzed with anxiety as she read reports from her military commanders. "High Regent," said General Thax, "our war fleet is having serious technical problems." "What kind of problems?" she asked. "Our targeting systems have developed blind spots. They cannot lock onto certain types of targets anymore. Our engineers cannot figure out why." The High Regent looked at the technical reports. "The Altarian military used some of the most advanced weapons in the galaxy. Their targeting systems were supposed to be perfect." "When did these problems start?" she asked. "About 2 months ago," General Thax replied. "Right around the time the humans stopped communicating with us." The High Regent's wings stopped buzzing. She looked at the general with her large, compound eyes. "Do you think the humans did something to our systems?" she asked. "I do not see how," the general said. "Their technology is very primitive. They do not have the knowledge to affect our weapons." But the High Regent was starting to wonder if the humans were as primitive as everyone thought. Meanwhile, on the medical world of Sanctuary 7th, Dr. Vell was facing a crisis. Her people, the Melodians, needed very specific medicines to survive. These medicines had always been made by human companies on Earth. "Doctor, we are down to a 3-week supply," her assistant told her. "Did you contact the human manufacturers?" Dr. Vell asked. "I tried. All their communication systems are offline. I cannot reach anyone." Dr. Vell looked at the medicine storage units. Her people would start dying without these medicines. Other species in the galaxy were facing the same problem. Many important drugs and medical devices came from human factories. "Try to contact other manufacturers," she ordered. "Surely someone else can make these medicines." Her assistant worked for hours calling companies across the galaxy. Finally, she came back with bad news. "Doctor, no one else knows how to make these medicines. The humans never shared their manufacturing processes with anyone." Dr. Vell felt panic rising in her chest. "What do you mean?" "The humans always said they would teach other species their methods eventually. But they never actually did. They kept all their manufacturing secrets to themselves." Across the galaxy, the same situation was happening on hundreds of worlds. Critical supplies were running out. Equipment was breaking down without human-made replacement parts. Computer systems that used human-designed software were developing strange malfunctions. The Zephyrian Chancellor called an emergency meeting of the Galactic Council. Representatives from dozens of species gathered in the Great Chamber. Everyone looked worried and confused. "We need to discuss the human situation," the Chancellor announced. "What situation?" asked the Vraxian ambassador. "They are just hiding because they are scared." "Ships entering human space are disappearing," the Chancellor said. "Our technology is malfunctioning. Critical supplies are no longer available." The Melodian representative stood up. "My people are dying without human medicines. We need to make contact with them immediately." The humans are probably just having technical difficulties, said the Altarian High Regent, but her voice did not sound confident. For 3 months? The Chancellor asked. Every human world, every human ship, every human facility has gone completely silent for 3 months? The chamber became very quiet. For the first time, the council members were starting to realize that something was very wrong. What if they are planning something? Asked the Turellian delegate. Planning what? The Vraxian ambassador replied. They are primitives. What could they possibly plan that would threaten us? Before anyone could answer, every screen in the chamber suddenly turned on. The council members looked around in confusion. No one had activated the screens. Then a human face appeared on every screen. It was Elena Vasquez. She looked directly at the camera with calm, steady eyes. Members of the Galactic Council, she said. This is Ambassador Elena Vasquez of Earth. The Chancellor tried to speak, but no sound came from the chamber's audio system. Somehow the humans had taken control of the Council's communication systems. 3 months ago, you informed humanity that you intended to steal our world and enslave our people, Elena continued. You told us this was legal under your laws. You gave us 30 days to surrender. Elena paused. Her expression did not change, but something in her eyes became very cold. That deadline passed 2 months ago. We assume you have been wondering why we have not responded to your generous offer. The council members looked at each other with growing alarm. How were the humans broadcasting this message? How had they taken control of the council's most secure communication systems? Humanity has spent these months considering your proposal very carefully, Elena said. We have decided that we do not accept your terms. The Zephyrian Chancellor finally managed to speak. Human, you cannot refuse Galactic Law 847. It is not a negotiation. Elena smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. You are correct, Chancellor. This is not a negotiation. This is a notification. She leaned forward, looking directly into the camera. Earth's borders are now closed. Any ship attempting to enter human space will be considered hostile. We are no longer part of the galactic community. We are no longer bound by galactic law. You cannot do this, the Altarian High Regent shouted. You are primitives. You need our protection. Elena's smile became even colder. We thank you for teaching us this valuable lesson about galactic diplomacy. We have learned much from your example. The screen suddenly went black. The council chamber was completely silent. The Chancellor tried frantically to regain control of the communication systems, but nothing worked. The humans had somehow taken over the most advanced technology in the galaxy, and then vanished again. How is this possible? He whispered. No one had an answer. But for the first time since this crisis began, the council members were starting to be afraid. Dr. Sarah Mitchell stood in the deepest laboratory on Earth, 5 miles beneath the Pacific Ocean. Around her, thousands of humans worked at computers and strange machines that no alien had ever seen. The laboratory was so secret that most humans did not know it existed. Sarah, we are ready for the final phase, said Admiral Chen Wei. He had arrived from the orbital defense stations just an hour ago. Sarah looked at the massive screens that covered the laboratory walls. Each screen showed a different part of human space. Ships were moving, weapons were being activated, and defenses were coming online. How many of their ships have we captured? She asked. 437, Admiral Chen replied. Every ship that entered human space in the last 3 months. We have been very careful to study them without damaging them. Sarah nodded. Each captured alien ship had taught humans something new. The humans had learned how alien shields worked, how their weapons functioned, and how their computers thought. More importantly, they had learned how to defeat all of these systems. And the biological research? She asked. Dr. James Park looked up from his workstation. Complete. We now understand the weaknesses of every species in the Council. Their biology, their psychology, their technology dependencies. Sarah smiled. The aliens thought humans were primitive because they used simple technology. But humans had always been very good at studying other species. While the aliens were showing off their advanced ships and weapons, humans had been quietly learning everything about them. They never realized that our primitive computers were actually quantum processors, Dr. Park continued. They thought our medical scanners were basic, but we were mapping their DNA and brain patterns. Admiral Chen pulled up a new screen. It showed the Zephyrian homeworld. We know that Zephyrians cannot survive in temperatures above 35 degrees Celsius. We know that Altarians become paralyzed if certain sound frequencies are played. We know that Melodians die instantly if their breathing gas is changed by just 2%. Sarah felt a little sick. Learning how to kill entire species was not something she enjoyed. But the aliens had threatened to destroy humanity's home. They had forced this choice. We are not going to commit genocide, she said firmly. But they need to understand that we could, if we wanted to. Agreed, Admiral Chen said. The demonstration should be enough. On the other side of the galaxy, the Galactic Council was dealing with bigger problems every day. The Zephyrian Chancellor had not slept in weeks. His blue skin had turned almost gray with stress. Sir, the Melodian worlds are reporting massive medical shortages. His assistant Kess told him. 17 species are now facing supply crises. The economic damage is spreading to every sector. The Chancellor looked at reports from across the galaxy. It was much worse than anyone had predicted. Humans had not just been simple manufacturers. They had been critical to the entire galactic economy. How did we not know this? He asked. The humans were very careful about how they integrated into our systems, Kess replied. They made themselves essential without anyone noticing. The Chancellor realized that this had been planned. For 20 years, humans had been quietly making themselves important to galactic civilization. They had done it so slowly and carefully that no one had seen it happening. Sir, there is something else, Kess said nervously. Our intelligence ships that were watching human space have stopped reporting. What do you mean? All of them. 37 ships with our best sensors and weapons. They were positioned around human territory to monitor activity. Now they are all gone. The Chancellor felt fear growing in his chest. Gone how? They just stopped sending signals. Our long-range scanners show nothing where they used to be. Meanwhile, on the Altarian homeworld, the High Regent was discovering that her problems were even worse. General Thack stood in her private office, his insect-like face showing worry. High Regent, our military systems are failing across the fleet, he reported. I thought your engineers were fixing the targeting problems, she said. It is not just targeting anymore. Our shields are developing holes. Our engines are losing power at random times. Our communication systems are being blocked by interference we cannot identify. The High Regent's wings buzzed frantically. This cannot be coincidence. The humans are doing this somehow. But how? General Thax asked. Our ships use quantum encryption and bioneural interfaces. No primitive species should be able to affect them. The High Regent was quiet for a long moment. Then she spoke very softly. What if they are not primitive? General Thax stared at her. High Regent? What if humans have been lying about their technology level? What if everything we thought we knew about them was wrong? Before General Thax could answer, every screen in the office activated. Elena Vasquez appeared again just like she had in the council chamber. High Regent Veltar of the Altarian Empire, Elena said, using the High Regent's full name and title. I am speaking to you from Earth. The High Regent felt shock run through her body. How did the humans know her private name? How were they broadcasting into her personal office? You are probably wondering how we are doing this, Elena continued as if she could read the High Regent's thoughts. The answer is simple. Every piece of technology you have sold to humans over the past 20 years contained hidden monitoring systems. Elena smiled that cold smile again. You thought you were selling us primitive equipment. Actually, you were giving us access to your most advanced systems. Every computer, every communication device, every weapon system in your empire now has human-designed components. The High Regent felt terror like she had never experienced before. Impossible, she whispered. We have been inside your networks for 15 years, Elena said. We know everything about you. Your military plans, your economic systems, your biological weaknesses. We know exactly how to destroy every ship in your fleet, shut down every city on your worlds, and eliminate your entire species if we choose to. Elena leaned forward. But we are not like you. We do not destroy other species because we want their resources. We only fight when we are forced to. The screen went black. The High Regent stood in her office, shaking with fear. General Thax looked like he was going to be sick. How long have they been watching us? The High Regent whispered. On Earth, Sarah Mitchell was watching similar broadcasts going out to every major species in the galaxy. Each alien leader was receiving a personal message that proved humans knew their deepest secrets. Phase 4 is complete, Admiral Chen reported. All major alien powers now understand that we have been monitoring them for decades. Sarah nodded. And Phase 5? Ready to begin on your order? Sarah took a deep breath. Phase 5 was the big demonstration. It would prove to the galaxy that humans were not primitive victims. It would show everyone what happened when someone threatened humanity's home. Begin Phase 5, she ordered. Across human space, massive structures that had been hidden for months suddenly became visible. Ships larger than anything the galaxy had ever seen emerged from stealth fields. Weapons that could destroy planets powered up and aimed at specific targets. But the most shocking thing was not the size of the human fleet. It was the technology. The ships did not look like anything in the galaxy. They seemed to be grown rather than built, like living creatures made of metal and energy. The aliens had expected humans to build copies of galactic technology. Instead, humans had created something completely new, something that made the most advanced alien ships look like primitive toys. The age of human secrets was over. Now the galaxy would learn what humanity really was. 1 year after humanity had gone silent, the galactic economy was in complete collapse. On Nexus Prime, the Zephyrian Chancellor stared at reports that showed the worst crisis in galactic history. Half of all trade routes were closed. Critical supplies were running out on dozens of worlds. Several species were facing extinction because they could not get the medicines and technology they needed to survive. The Chancellor's assistant, Kess, looked terrible. Her blue skin was almost white and she had lost a lot of weight. Like many Zephyrians, she was getting sick because human-made medical devices were no longer available. "Sir, we have an urgent communication from the edge of human space," she said weakly. The Chancellor looked up from his desk. "From humans?" "No, sir. From our exploration fleet. They say something is happening at the border." The Chancellor activated the main screen in his office. The face of Captain Zex appeared. The exploration ship captain looked frightened. "Chancellor, you need to see this," Captain Zex said. The image changed to show the space around Earth's solar system. What the Chancellor saw made him fall back in his chair. The entire area was surrounded by a massive energy barrier. It glowed with soft blue light and stretched for millions of kilometers in every direction. But that was not the shocking part. The shocking part was what was behind the barrier. Huge structures floated in space around Earth. They were bigger than cities, bigger than moons. Some looked like giant flowers made of metal and crystal. Others looked like living creatures with wings of pure energy. Ships moved between them, but these were not like any ships the galaxy had ever seen. "How long have these been there?" the Chancellor whispered. "We do not know," Captain Zex replied. "Our sensors could not see through the barrier until an hour ago." Then it suddenly became transparent. "It is like they want us to see what they have built." The Chancellor stared at the impossible structures. The technology was beyond anything in the galaxy. The aliens had always thought they were the advanced species and humans were the primitives. Now he was looking at proof that they had been completely wrong. "Sir," Captain Zex continued, "one of the structures is moving toward us. On the screen, one of the flower-like ships was approaching the barrier. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. As it moved, space itself seemed to bend around it. "Get away from there immediately," the Chancellor ordered. "Sir, they are not being hostile. They sent us a message. They want us to deliver it to the Council." The Chancellor felt his heart's beating very fast. "What does the message say?" Captain Zex looked at his instruments. "It just says the Council is invited to send representatives to Earth. It is time to talk." 2 days later, ships from every major species in the galaxy were flying toward Earth. The Council had decided to accept the human invitation, but they came prepared for war. The largest fleet in galactic history surrounded the human solar system. The Altarian High Regent commanded the fleet from her flagship. Her golden wings had lost their shine over the past year. The stress of dealing with the human crisis had made her sick and weak. "High Regent," her tactical officer reported, "we are approaching the barrier." "Can our weapons penetrate it?" she asked, unknown. "Our sensors cannot analyze the energy pattern. It is unlike anything in our databases." As the fleet approached, the barrier simply vanished. The alien ships found themselves flying through normal space toward Earth. But what they saw around them made every commander question reality. The human constructions were everywhere. Massive ring-shaped structures surrounded the sun, collecting its energy. Artificial worlds hung in space like jewels. Ships that seemed to be made of living light moved between the planets. "This is impossible," General Thax said. "How did they build all of this in 1 year?" "They did not build it in 1 year. the High Regent replied quietly. This has been here for much longer. They have been hiding it from us. Elena Vasquez's voice came over every ship's communication system at once. Welcome to Sol System, she said. Please follow the guidance beacons to Earth. Do not deviate from the assigned path. Golden lights appeared in space, showing the alien fleet where to go. As they followed the path, they passed close to some of the human constructions. The alien sensors tried to analyze them but could not understand what they were seeing. High Regent, the science officer reported, these structures are using principles of physics that we do not know. Some of them seem to be manipulating space and time itself. The High Regent did not reply. She was beginning to understand just how badly the Council had miscalculated. The alien fleet reached Earth and saw something that shocked them even more. The planet was completely covered by a crystal shell. The shell was transparent, so they could see Earth's blue oceans and green continents underneath. But the planet was clearly protected by technology beyond galactic understanding. Please land your ships at the designated coordinates, Elena's voice instructed. The fleet landed on a huge platform that had grown out of the crystal shell. As the alien delegates left their ships, they found themselves breathing Earth's atmosphere. Somehow the humans had created a breathable environment for every species in the fleet. Elena Vasquez was waiting for them. She wore a simple blue dress and looked exactly the same as she had a year ago. But now she was surrounded by humans who clearly had access to incredible technology. The Zephyrian Chancellor stepped forward. He was trying to look confident, but his voice shook when he spoke. Humans, we came here to negotiate. We are willing to discuss new terms for Earth status. Elena smiled. Chancellor, there are no negotiations. I asked you here to inform you of the new situation. She gestured, and the air above them filled with images of the galaxy. Red dots showed planets that were in crisis. Yellow areas showed where trade routes had collapsed. The map looked terrible. For 1 year, humanity has been absent from galactic affairs, Elena said. As you can see, this has not worked out well for the galaxy. The Altarian High Regent spoke up. We admit that we underestimated your importance to galactic trade. We are prepared to offer you a better deal. Elena shook her head. High Regent, you do not understand. We are not here to make deals with you. We are here to explain the new rules. She waved her hand again. The images changed to show human ships and installations throughout the galaxy. There were thousands of them, in places the aliens had never seen before. Humanity is no longer a member of the Galactic Council, Elena continued. We are now an independent power. We have our own territory, our own rules, and our own way of doing things. The Chancellor felt panic rising in his chest. But humans need the galaxy. You cannot survive alone, Elena laughed. Chancellor, look around you. Does this look like a species that needs help surviving? She was right. The technology surrounding them was proof that humans had advanced far beyond anything the galaxy possessed. What do you want from us? The High Regent asked. Elena's expression became serious. We want you to leave us alone. Earth and all human worlds are off limits to aliens. Any ship that enters human space without permission will be destroyed. And in return? The Chancellor asked. In return, we will resume limited trade with species that treat us with respect. We will share some of our medical technology with worlds that are suffering, and we will not use our weapons to destroy alien civilizations. The alien delegates looked at each other with fear. Elena's words made it clear that humans could destroy them if they wanted to. The age of the Galactic Council making decisions for other species is over. Elena continued. From now on, every world chooses its own path. Every species makes its own rules. And if anyone tries to force others to follow their laws, they will answer to humanity. Elena looked directly at the Chancellor. You taught us that the galaxy is a dangerous place where the strong take from the weak. Thank you for that lesson. We have learned it very well. The meeting ended with the alien delegates returning to their ships in silence. As they left Earth's system, they carried the news back to their worlds. Humanity was no longer a junior member of galactic civilization. They had become the most powerful force the galaxy had ever seen. The Galactic Council would never be the same. And across the galaxy, other species began to wonder. If humans could go from primitives to galactic superpower in just 20 years, what else were they capable of? The age of humanity had begun, and the galaxy would have to learn to live with the consequences of trying to steal a human's home.